Hi, it's Sean, the Fluency Awesomeizer. Here's another video where I'm going to take a few minutes and help you decode big words, to read big words, and also pass along some spelling tips, carry around up here and use when you need. Now, I have 3 words I'm going to look at today and a lot of information to pass along. I'm going to try to go as quickly as I can, all right? I promise. So let's get ready. I'm about to show you the 3 words. I want you to read them right out loud to whoever you're there with as you see them. Here's the first one. What's this word? All right, how about the second word? And say it with me, the third word. All right, these words are really similar. The top word is dizziness, and in the middle is business. Down below is designs. And we're going to compare these words, focusing on the top word, dizziness. It's possible you thought, maybe even read one of the other words. So we're going to compare them. First, a reminder of my favorite fable, The Tortoise and the Hare, and the moral, slow and steady wins the race, which is great advice if you're in a race. But the life lesson, slow and steady, is what's important about that fable. And you can take things slow and steady when you read big words like dizziness. The tortoise would come along to a word like dizziness, slow and steady, be very responsible, and hopefully say dizziness. A lot of young readers are like the hare, and they want to get to that finish line quickly and zip through words like dizziness, and that's where mistakes might happen. So we want to be careful and be like the tortoise. So before we compare the words, which reader are you, the tortoise or the hare? Okay, the tortoise is not going to finish the race first, but that's not important. Being accurate, doing your best decoding is important. So be the tortoise. Let's look at the comparison between dizziness and one of the words the hare might confuse it with. Business, right? These words are not the same, really. They don't look the same in the beginning, but they have the same end, I, with a suffix ness. Right? So the second half of both of these words are identical. So how can they be confused? Let's take a look at that. First, let's focus on business for a second. It's an interesting word. It doesn't look the way it sounds. It has what seems to be the syllable bus in the beginning. But you don't say bus, do you? You say biz. Like business is how it's pronounced. You may have spelled business with a Z, like this in the past, because it is a confusing word. And it has nothing to do with the bus, but you spell bus. You also have to have an I in the middle, and we're going to look at that in just a moment. But it's a curious word, and now let's look at dizziness, how it can be confused. Dizziness with business. Focus on or watch the D and watch the Z-I in the middle, or really that I in the middle. And your mark it, set, go. Yoink, suddenly dizziness looks like business. What happened there? Let me go back. The I disappeared, all right? And that is a very common behavior when reading. It has a lot to do with the I being just the skinniest of all the letters. It's easy to just kind of get hidden when surrounded by letters in dizziness. But the D turned into a B at the beginning. Did you notice that? So suddenly dizziness looks like business. Dizziness looks like business because of losing the I and the classic B-D reversal, the confusion about is it a B or is it a D? Business, and that's how dizziness can be confused with business. Here's a quick way to remember your B's and your D's. Give a thumbs up and hold your hands out in front of you like this, and you can see a B and a D. And a little reminder, it looks like a bed if you stretch it apart a little bit. B-E-D spells bed, and that's a way you can remember. Your hands make the shape of a lowercase b and a D if you do that. It's a good way to remember this. All right, a quick comparison with dizziness and another word the hare might read, zipping through dizziness. Designs. Yeah, designs. Watch this. They both start the same. D-I, di makes that sound di in the beginning of dizziness. It's a D-E in designs, but if you listen to yourself say designs, it sounds like a D-I. So similar beginning, both end with S. but they look really different in the middle. So how can you get them confused? Dizziness. See it up top? Those are the 3 syllables in dizziness, by the way. Watch the end. Ness. On your mark, get set, go. Yoink. Designs. Huh? How did dizziness turn into designs? Well, remember the fable, The Tortoise and the Hare? If you read that fable or heard it read before, you'll recall the hare took a nap in the middle of that race. And like anybody in a race, you get tired at the end. And if you said designs when you went to read dizziness, you missed that last S. And it looks like, if you think about it and look, there's Zine in the middle of dizziness, just like you hear when you say designs. Doesn't, it looks like the word sign down there, but designs is pronounced with zine. So you can easily look at dizziness and say designs if you leave that last S off and pay attention to the syllables designs. Pretty interesting. So that's how you can confuse dizziness with designs. Now, quick look at the word origin of all 3 of these words, starting with dizziness. Dizziness comes from the root dizzy. We all know what dizzy means. But a long, long time ago in history, dizzy was a word they used to in place of foolish or stupid. It meant foolish or stupid. Isn't that interesting? Now it means, so it kind of makes sense, right? If you, I don't know, that's just makes sense. Let's just move on from there. So dizzy becomes dizziness. You have to focus on the rule, drop Y and add an I. We're going to take this Y at the end of dizzy, drop it, add an I, drop the Y and add an I, drop the Y, add an I. Why? Because I said so. It's one way to remember that rule. Dizzy and add the suffix ness. And dizziness is an abstract noun. It's a thing, but you can't really hold it. You know, like you can hold a computer mouse or this cell phone of mine. Dizziness is more of a state of mind. It's like a thing you can't see. Those are abstract nouns. Business, the root word of business is busy, just like dizzy. Not bussy. It looks like bussy, but busy. Why is busy spelled the way it is? A long time ago in history, in Old English from a long time ago is the word bizig, bizig. So that's the pronunciation. Just over time, somebody changed that. This is a short I, by the way. Letter I, touching my chin. It reminds me of the short I sound. Busy, they've used a U, and it's just something you have to remember. Busy is a sight word you have to remember. So to turn into busyness, business, drop the Y, add an I, and the suffix ness. Now you have business, which is literally the word busyness, right? It's a state of being very busy. It's pronounced business. You don't hear that I. And a business, as you know, could be something like a lemonade stand or mind your business. The root word of designs is design. It looks like, see the word sign in there? Why isn't it pronounced design? It's pronounced design. Well, there's a reason. This word comes from the French word designer. Designer. Say it with me, designer. Designer is a French word for the English word designate. So that kind of explains the G and the N in design. Designate in French is designer. Designate. So we get the word in English design from that French word designer. And design, we're going to add an S to turn it into designs. And we all know what designs are, right? Let's see a design. Wait a minute. That's just a bunch of scribble scrabble. That's not a design. How about a design? Oh, all right. Come on. Enough with the scribbles. Just never mind. All right. Let's just move on. We're going to wrap this video up here with a passage I wrote to help you practice some of these patterns we've been talking about and awesomize your fluency. I'm about to say go, and I want you to read the passage that you see out loud the best you can. Treat it like a race, but be the tortoise. Slow and steady. Hit pause to give yourself plenty of time, all right? On your mark, get set, Remember, hit pause when you see this. Read it out loud. Like Marcus said, ago. I better get out of the way. Hit pause. All right, that's going to do it for today's video. Subscribe to my YouTube channel, where you can find lots more videos just like this, where I try to help young readers in 2nd through 6th grade decode big words and pass along some spelling tips too. Mom or dad, you can follow me on Facebook at the Fluency Awesomizer. All these videos are there too in my feed, but in my photos are lots more passages like we saw, like these that I just showed you too, to help viewers awesomize their fluency. All right, so that's going to do it. Come back and see me here at the Fluency Awesomizer real soon, and bye.